All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a fuel source, something that has the power to totally transform the daily lives and even the health of billions of people. It's a story that's got a hidden danger, a really powerful solution, and a huge challenge in connecting the two.
So, for almost half the people on this planet, this is what cooking dinner looks like. It means burning solid fuels. Wood, charcoal, even animal waste. And it's often done indoors, in places with really poor ventilation. Now, this is a tradition that's as old as time itself, but believe me, it comes with a devastatingly modern price tag.
And that tradition? Well, it comes with a staggering cost. Look at this number, 4.3 million. That's how many people die every single year from illnesses that are directly caused by all that cooking smoke. We're talking about a massive global health crisis that's literally hiding in plain sight.
So let's really dig into the scale of this problem. I mean, how can something so basic, so fundamental as cooking a meal be so incredibly deadly?
Okay, to put this all into perspective, the gunk, the particulate matter, the toxic pollutants that get released from these fires, they're responsible for more premature deaths than HIV/AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. It's no exaggeration to call it a killer in the kitchen.
But what if there was a better way? And that brings us to the hero of our story today. Liquefied petroleum gas. You probably know it as LPG. It's a modern fuel, been around for over 100 years, and it offers a really dramatic alternative.
So what exactly is LPG? Well, it's a co-product. You get it when you process natural gas and refine crude oil. For a long time, a lot of this stuff was just wastefully burned off in a process called flaring. But by capturing it, we get this clean, really powerful energy source that we can store as a liquid. And this is why LPG is such a total game changer. It all comes down to energy density. I mean, just look at this. To get the same amount of cooking power, you'd need a whopping 91 kilograms of wood. With LPG, all that same energy is packed right into one portable 13-kilogram cylinder. The difference is just, wow.
And its advantages go way beyond just power. It's clean, burning with almost no soot or those dangerous particles. It's powerful, giving people instant heat they can control with the turn of a knob. It's portable, which means it can get to villages that the electric grid can't reach. And it's incredibly versatile. You can use it for way more than just cooking.
Now, if you look at where all this LPG is actually used, you see something pretty fascinating. Sure, it's got a ton of industrial uses, but the biggest slice of that pie, a full 44%, is for homes. That's for cooking and heating, which is exactly where it has the power to make the biggest life-saving impact.
Okay, so if LPG is so great, you have to ask, why are 3 billion people still using smoky traditional fuels? Well, as you know, the path from a big problem to a perfect solution is almost never a straight line. There are some really big, real-world barriers we need to get our heads around.
This quote from the World LPG Association just nails the biggest economic hurdle. Let me read it. The LPG business is one where the packaging, cylinder, is more expensive than the contents, LPG. Think about that. For the world's poorest people, the upfront cost of that metal tank and a stove is just way too high, even if the fuel itself is affordable over time.
So that initial cost, that's barrier number one. But there are others. For countries to adopt this, they have to build out a massive infrastructure for storage and distribution. The consumers we're talking about have very, very little disposable income, and in some places, you've got unsafe practices like people illegally refilling cylinders, which can completely undermine safety and trust in the whole system.
So how do we get past these barriers? Well, it isn't just up to consumers or companies. It really requires smart, proactive government action. And the good news is, there's a clear playbook out there for policymakers who want to make this change actually happen.
So the strategy really breaks down into 4 key steps. First, you got to create a long-term national plan. Second, you have to develop that plan with the industry, not in some government bubble. Third, you need to adopt and strictly enforce international safety standards to build public trust. And finally, number 4, provide targeted financial help to get the poorest families over that initial cost hurdle. Now, that last point about financial help is absolutely crucial to get this right. The recommendation is not for broad, ongoing subsidies on the price of the gas itself. Those get super expensive, and honestly, they often don't even reach the people who need them most. Instead, the smart approach is targeted, one-time support to help a family buy their first cylinder and stove. It's all about opening the door, not paying the bill forever.
But policy isn't the only thing driving change here.
While governments can create the framework, it's technological innovation that's now providing some really cool new tools to solve these old problems, especially that huge problem of affordability.
So let's just circle back to that core challenge, right? People using traditional fuels can often buy just a tiny amount for that day's meal. But LPG? It's historically been sold by the full cylinder. If you've only got $1 or $2 in your pocket, you're pretty much locked out of the system. So how do you fix that?
Well, the answer is you make the cylinder smart. This little device here is a smart valve. It lets a user pay for just the amount of gas they can afford, maybe just enough for one day's hooking, using a simple smartphone. The valve then releases that exact amount of gas. It completely transforms LPG from this big bulk purchase into a flexible, pay-as-you-go service. This is a complete game changer.
So, we'll end with this question. You know, in the huge global conversation about transitioning to renewables, it can be easy to overlook solutions that can save millions of lives right now. Look, LPG isn't a zero-carbon fuel, but for billions of people, it represents a massive, massive leap forward. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the path to a better future is built one practical, life-changing step at a time.